Yeah, this is a pretty degenerate combo. It is degenerate. They will remove this as well. Okay, here we go. This is an Ezreal TF deck. This is like a tier 1 deck. Ezreal TF. Do I like keeping Palm? They honestly do generate like wide boards quite constantly. I might need to keep Icequake, Sentry, and Zephyr Sage. And Palm is a nice keep with Zephyr. I guess I just have to keep the entire hand. Okay, it's a good hand. It's kind of everything I need. It's got every stage in the game. It's got like early, medium, and late.
There's plenty of killing left. The dead don't eat riches.
And honestly, we do have a lot of win conditions against like Endure here. He's got another open attack. Yeah, I'll develop this. There's a lot of hands with his deck that actually don't really have that much aggression, and he would be happy just open attacking into me again, and I don't really want to let that happen for free. I want to make him pay for this attack. If he plays Ezreal, I'm fine. Pretty happy to see an Ezreal here, actually. Why don't you play ladder? I mean, the last I checked, which was like 24 hours ago, is literally the same decks over and over again. Yeah, this is fine. This is kind of the max value Sentry's getting here, and it's good enough value for me. Sentry's obviously an insane card in this deck. Is this deck tier 1? No, it's not tier 1. It might be... So, here's the question with this deck. We need to compare it to Ramp Asol, like Asol Trundle. The question is, if this deck is built properly, can it be better than Asol Trundle? And I think the answer is... It's a bit unlikely, but it's actually like a lot closer of a chance than it seems. Like the deeper we lean into these Ionia cards, like Will and Palm are really, really, really important. And they help you just like curve out your lose conditions. So we would need to find a way to beat that mirror matchup and the mirror against the other ramp deck, the Trundle Asol, right? And if we can get favorable tables into that one matchup, then this deck can actually defy a lot of people's expectations, I think. I guess I just open Beer here. It's the same deck over and over because Hush and Healing limits the field by so fucking much. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I didn't mention that, but yeah, that's kind of like the design flaws of this patch. Like, there's very few things you can run right now if you want to, like, try hard. Which is something we talked about a while ago when we were talking about, like, the design limitations of, like, you know. I think Healing is also, like, really big for sure. Probably a bigger problem than Hush. It's kind of hard to compare those because, I mean, they both are things that need to change. But yeah, there's very few things you can play super competitively right now. And they'll make the tweaks they need to, though, so it's fine. We're not taking too much damage here. I think I have to just be okay with this. It's a pretty small amount. What are you thinking in terms of changes needed? You know, I mean, Hush should be either followers only or fast speed. I'm fine either way, honestly. There's arguments for both. And the amount of healing should be reduced in some way. There's, again, a lot of different arguments as, like, different ways to do that, I think. I think those are kind of, like, the only two changes that are important, though. Star Shaping? Yeah, Star Shaping is probably an easy one to touch up. Maybe heal a little bit less or something. Or arguably cost 6 mana. I don't think that would be enough, though. Yeah. Increasing Star Shaping's mana cost actually wouldn't be enough for that card because of how it works. Because, like, against aggro, when they just try to, like, swing into you and you're just out of their reach, it doesn't really matter how much mana you're paying, right? But yeah, Star Shaping is really absolutely that good. Star Shaping seems kind of bad at first, and I thought it was bad the first time I looked at it. But the more you look at the card, the more it plays into, like, Runeterra's fundamentals. Like, the fact of the matter is, because of the alternating turn system, the opponent can open attack into you for lethal, and you can Star Shaping and heal, and then next turn, you can develop your big thing that is usually, like, Overwhelm or Elusive, something unblockable, and then swing into them. That is disgusting. So it's... You don't really look at it as a function of, like, costing mana. So Star Shaping is good for the same reason that, like, Grasp and Wail are good. Like, fast speed heals are good. Period. So we do have the third Zephyr Sage. I don't know if it's actually worth very much here. We want the ability to play Icequake. Let me just attack him like this. he plays like a petty, I have a pretty good Ice Quake. He kind of can't play petty until I tap out. A good player would pass back to me here, pretty much.
The world's a big place.
Yikes, dude. So that's why we take that attack. I know it looks weird, because I know it's like, in an ideal world, you know, he could make our Ice Quake a bit more awkward with this attack, but it doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't really matter, like, a crazy amount. He's protecting TF over Ezreal, which is also interesting. I guess it makes sense. Yeah, 5 out of 8 and 1 out of 8, sure. Yeah, he has to do that. He's never going to develop something here that makes me want to Ice Quake. He's just going to open attack in a way that makes me want to Palm. Question is, am I happy taking this 2 damage here? Have we been, like, blocking out his nabs and shit? He's attacking on odds. On round 5, he dealt damage to me. That was when I dropped Hearthguard. And he used Pilfered Goods then. Which means his range is low for nabs. I can probably let this 2 hit me and not really care. He has Rex? Yeah, but he has 7 mana. So, this is pretty important. The fact that 2 turns ago, he had the opportunity to play, you know, stuff like Black Market Merchant and didn't, means it's okay. It's more okay, probabilistically, to let him hit me here. Because those cards wouldn't be, like, stuck in his hand, right? So, like, 2 damage isn't that big of a deal, whereas, like, the stuns feel like they're gonna matter. Like, keeping this in hand and keeping the mana open is actually a pretty big deal moving forward. So I think Shadow Assassin here is nice, just for the ability to potentially give me an additional option. Looks good. But yeah, that's basically like why I don't want to play ranked right now, because there's literally like 3 or 4 decks that everyone's jamming, and I think like that's usually happens at the very start. Like I was saying, like when everyone's racing to Masters for the first few days, it's pretty toxic, and then when you start queuing into people that are like already Masters, you see a lot more people experimenting for the actual like fun decks. This is actually a sweet draw. Yeah, health potion is good in this deck. Yeah. Precipic was right. Precipic's always right. Not enough of a downside open attacking here, I think. Seems good. He's Rexing. I feel like I can actually just Ice Quake this, right?
Can they call me a shark?
Like his TF... Oh, you know what? His TF could actually level off of the other nab. His TF could level off of the other nab if I Ice Quake this. That is a bit of an issue. But usually this will bait him into like Mystic Shotting. It's not like it matters, but I'll Ezreal emote. Yeah, good old health potion. Man, imagine running Ritual of Renewal when we could just run, like, normal cards. I mean, he could still have, like, Get Excited and kill us. We're not out of the woods, per se. He kind of needs to have it this turn, though. Because, I mean, we do have our full combo coming in. Coming in hot, actually. He needs to kill us here. He needs to have a way to. And his Ezreal's never flipping. So Deep Med is quite perfect here. It's just kind of like a great card in this position. Keeps us flexible. But yeah, it's kind of like, usually this deck doesn't run any Get Excited, I think. Some of them run like 1. Honestly, only fucking weirdos run 1 Get Excited in that deck. Yeah, looks like we're good. I mean, we're healing a bit and he's never damaging us again, right? Honestly, like, so just think about this deck like that. Like, it's a full stall deck. It's like Karma Ezreal. It's like a full stall deck and it just has a win condition. And its win condition is unique in that it will invariably outgrind. Like, that's a big deal. Like, this win condition can outgrind literally anything. Which is, yeah, kind of crazy. There's not really... If we had a way to kill the Ezreal in hands, I could see some, like, weird, like, trying to avoid playing too many units, but... Unfortunately, if he has a good hand, he can, like, burst kill us with Ezreal sometimes. He can't attack us with Ezreal because we have Chill Chant. The Asol win condition beats this, though. The thing is, I don't actually know if it does. Asol is a lot more disruptible than this. Like, if I'm running this deck and I'm running, like, Will of Ionia and stuff, I can stop Asol. You cannot stop this. I actually think a well-built and well-played version of this deck is likely favored against the Asol version. I can't prove that, though. We'll see. I'll eventually be able to prove that. I can't prove that right now. But, like, Asol is very, very stoppable. If I build this deck in a way where it's like, you know, I already have with, like, Will of Ionias and, like, Spell Shield Poppers, I can disrupt the Asol combo and then just, like, kill them. But you can't disrupt this, like, at all. Play the middle one. Yeah, it's good to play the middle one early so that they're both next to each other. Lowers the odds of misclicking. Sage go Burr. Yeah, this is a pretty degenerate combo. It is degenerate. They will remove this as well. I mean, I have a fucking sick sense of fun to the point where I find this fun, but this is not normal. I think it stems from something in my adolescence. I have an extremely warped sense of fun, which I think is actually like the biggest reason I play card games for a living. Because, like, I think from most objective metrics, card games aren't really fun, right? They're kind of, like, interesting. Like, most people play them as, like, a very side thing, but, like, actually tryharding card games as, like, your main game is, like, very, very irregular. Like, if you were to walk up to someone on the street and ask them, like, you know, if they would be interested in, you know, playing this or, like, Fortnite or fucking anything. I mean, there's a lot of things that are, you know... I guess Fortnite's kind of an old meme at this point. Okay, so, I mean, we've got Harsh Winds and Troll Chant, which means I think we're pretty safe from anything he could do. I feel good here. Valorant? Yeah, sure. I mean, literally anything.
Watch and learn.
So if he levels up his Ezreal on this attack, then it actually will regain this 1 point of attack if I Harsh Winds it. Here's something very, very interesting. If I Troll Chant it, that won't happen. Because Troll Chant does -2 attack, so it'll be -1, even though it says 0, and then if he levels up, it'll still be 0. If I Harsh Winds it, it will scan his attack, it'll reduce its attack by that current value, it always reduces it to 0. It never reduces it to -1, which means he'll have the ability to level it up if I do that. But this stops it completely. And the funny thing is, he also might not know that. If he has like a weird like double Static Shock hand, he might think he's getting the attack and he's not. So yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, I can keep my mana open. Do I need to keep Will? I mean, he loses. He can't win. But yeah, this is the idea behind this deck. It is similar to Asol Ramp. That's the easiest comparison to make. It has a different win condition. I'm very, very serious when I say that I think that a refined version of this deck could be better than Asol Ramp. We haven't proved that yet, which is why I've listed this on my website as tier 2. But being able to lean into these Ionia cards is insanely important for the ability for like a slow play stall deck. These Ionia cards do so much for this deck, it's insane, right? So it's kind of like a cross between Ezreal Karma and Asol Ramp.